Good morning, welcome back to Steve's Build Life. Driving past the cabin here. That's what we got done yesterday. We got the whole thing stood up, and today we're gonna get a roof on it. I'm going to get some 2x4s because we only had so much room on the trailers and they are easy enough to get here. We're gonna get some Sackcrete for a post hole while those guys get everything warmed up, and I'm gonna go find some wiper blades while I'm at it. All right, well, we're gonna get started on this roof. George is ripping some 2x4s. I'm gonna work inside on some of these lights and get the electrical run for them because we gotta do that before we put the ISO board on. So these guys will get the 2x4s running and start on the roof. I'm gonna put you guys up on the hill so you can keep an eye on them. Screw all the way through it. I'm showing my friends. I tried to beat this out the screw. I just wound up beating the screw all the way through the wrench. It's fine. So I got these cool little pancake boxes, and they're remodel boxes. So they got this little strap, and you actually undo this wing nut and it'll pinch the wood. The problem I'm gonna have is these are set up for like 1/2 to 5/8 drywall. So I got some longer screws. We're gonna have to modify them and pinch that box. There's a knockout in here. We can put a Romex connector, and we're gonna wire up the lights before we put the ISO board on the roof. That connector is gonna stick up higher, so we can smash it into the insulation. I'm gonna flip it over, put the connector on the inside. I think that'll work just fine. And that way it doesn't stick up as far, so it's not cutting a big hole in the insulation. That's a plan anyways. Hey George. Could you come over here at this hole? Take that and put it right through the middle. Okay. Go. That'll smash over that, right? Oh yeah. Now. It won't do it. I thought I could break this out. Beauty. Almost. Yes. Hey George, when's lunch? I wanted it an hour ago. What will we do? All right, we got some screws or something. I might just drill us a big hole through this beam and the roof and the top plate. I'm gonna go on the roof because there's another roof section above it. Cut a hole in that and drop this plumbing vent through. So when we do the roof, we can flash it in, and then we'll just hook onto it later. I got a cap we'll put on to keep it from leaking in the meantime, but I'm gonna go on the roof and cut a hole up there. Oh, this is easy right here, Mike. You're like wound up perfect right there on the. Trying to get microscopic close.
Yeah, okay.
The sure shot. George, the camera guy. Now that's not gonna do us a whole lot of good, is it?
No, it wasn't anyway.
I gotta cut a little more. Thank you. You like that? He's gone already. Is it good in there then? All right, well today is a beautiful day. It is nice and sunny, and we're just about ready to get started roofing. We got all the perimeter 2x on, we got the plumbing stacked through, and I think all the lights are wired up. We're gonna start laying insulation in. I've still gotta go do the electric service on the other side, but these guys can get started here. So I got this foam on Marketplace. This is 2 3/4 inches thick, and it's an R12. It doesn't have the highest R value per inch, but with the R12 plus the 1.5 inches, another R9, we're gonna be like R21, which is pretty good for here in Kentucky. This may or may not even be a full 4-season cabin. We might close it down in the winter, but you know, November, this time of year was 35 this morning. You gotta have something. The main reason I got this, and aside from looking cool, the ceiling being black, you can see all the lines with the light coming through. If we put white foam right on there, or pink or whatever, that's what you're gonna see through those cracks. And as this wood continues to dry, those cracks are gonna get bigger. So we put this dark gray on top of it, and it'll kind of shadow out, and you won't see it as bad. So on the other cabin, we put ice and water shield on the whole thing, insulation, purlins, more ice and water shield and metal. That roof will never leak. It just adds a lot of expense because the foam would be a lot more expensive, and then you got to buy the ice and water shield, plus more labor. It is a beautiful day today. I was here with my family for 5 days, went home for 32 hours, grabbed the trailer, came back. We're now on day 4, I think. I lose track of what day of the week it is. But man, what a difference. Like, it was in the 20s and everything was frozen, overcast, then it warmed up a little and it rained for 2 days. Now, man, it is, I don't know, let's call it 45 and sunny, but it's still early. It'll get up to almost 70 today. Sun's out, it's just beautiful. Mike and I are finishing up the electric service. That goes through the roof. George is getting the roof on so he can flash that in. We still got half the roof to do. And the big water tank that we have to collect rainwater, we just can't get it sided and gutters on it fast enough. And that tank's sitting in the hole. I didn't want to backfill it because it's sort of a catch-22. If you backfill it and it gets water pumping up underneath, it'll float that tank out of the ground, and you got to pull it and redig it. But having it backfilled might let the water run away from it and not get under it, but then it can cave in because it doesn't have the pressure. They're not really supposed to be buried all the way. You could bury them a certain amount. This morning there is water in the hole and the tank started to float. So we've got the 2-inch pump hooked up. It's a Predator Harbor Freight pump. Those things are awesome. And we ran a whole bunch of hose up the hill, and we're just pumping it out of the creek. The creek water is super clear, and it's all stone bottom in there. So we won't have a bunch of muddy water in there. Even if we did, we just pump it out, or run a hose till it's gone. But that'll keep it from floating out the overflow, and we'll be in business. So I got to get back down there with those guys and see if today we can get her ready to get windows and doors in. That'll be awesome. I like that there's 4 of us here, and now I'm drilling gears by myself again.
That pump works pretty good.
The little one?
Yeah.
Get all that out? Is it going? Yeah. All right, so this here is from, what do you think, Ray? Is this tank filled up with water? It settled down into what was already here and pushed the water up. So the tank was definitely floating. So I'm hoping it's not a hole in the tank. I don't think it is. But I got this little pump off Amazon. It takes DeWalt batteries. So we're gonna pump this water out and keep an eye on it before we backfill it. That way we get it in the ditch and not all over the place. The best part about using this pump is we got all this head pressure, because this hose, how much higher you think that is, that tank, than down here? 20 feet?
More than that.
More than that?
Yeah, 30, 40 feet, I'd say.
So we're 30, 40 feet higher where that tank is than where the creek is. And now we got, I don't know, 200 feet of hose full of water here. So the only way to get it out is to take the prime pump off. This water shoots way up in the air, and I try to run out of its way before it hits the ground again. I could probably shim this pump so it shoots in the right direction. You better shut the truck door there, Ray. Oh, I used to count how many turns it took so I knew when to run. Here it is. Ah, there it goes. Kind of lackluster.
Grab that, brother.
Ah, that wasn't so bad. Well, this bag's about perfect. You want to mix the other one or just get this one in the hose?
Get this right here.
Oh yeah, we got perfect amount. Well, those guys are just about finished up on the roof, so I started wiring the place because I got the stuff, and why not? Mike's putting in the last couple nailers. We got a couple windows in. It's going quite well.